Adult. What's up, guys? This is Michael. Welcome back to the channel. And so today we're talking about Devil May Cry. I've just seen it, the Devil May Cry on Netflix. And I have some thoughts. And some good. Some you might say I'm nitpicking a little, but in this video, guys, I'm actually counting on you. I'm counting on the audience. I'm counting on the viewers. Because I want to start off by saying disclaimer that I have not played the games. I have not played DMC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the gist, right? So maybe there's something in this series compared to the games that I missed that maybe you guys know about and that you can let me know in the comments below. But for the most part, let me just give you my review of Devil May Cry on Netflix, okay? So, actually, before we get into that, if you guys would do me a quick little favor, it doesn't cost you nothing. Please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Please share this sucker out there because it really does help the channel. It helps the algorithm notice that I'm here and that I'm trying to do this. And we're trying to grow the channel. We're trying to grow the dojo, and we're trying to get some more students in here. So if you wouldn't mind, please like, share, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell so you know when I make another video. Alright, so let's get into this. So, Devil May Cry on Netflix. I heard a lot of people say that they didn't like the animation. A lot of people were worried about this, as they should be when it comes to, I guess, faithful adaptations. So, I'm going to start off by saying that I like the show. Alright? And I'll give you my rating at the end of this video. I like the show. I liked Johnny Young Bosch as Dante. I liked the voice actress that played Lady. I liked one of the things that really hit me in the feels was that the vice president. And for those of you that have seen it, you probably, once you heard the voice, or maybe you read it in the credits, but to hear the legendary voice of the late, great Kevin Conroy as the vice president, that brought feels. Like, guys, when I mean feels, I mean I almost cried. Okay? I miss Kevin Conroy. Back in 2017, side note here from the main show, I actually got to meet Kevin Conroy, and I actually got his autograph. He was really super nice, really super cool, and he will be missed. And for those of you Batman the Animated Series fans, you know what I'm talking about. Let me kind of just hone in on this for a little bit before I get to Dante and Lady and everything else, right? Kevin Conroy's character, the vice president, a little bit, not all the way, but a little bit, he reminded me of an elderly Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond. And if you remember Batman Beyond, it was when a young kid named Terry McGinnis is taken under Bruce Wayne's wing and becomes Batman. Kevin Conroy in this role, the late great Kevin Conroy, gave me vibes of old Bruce. He's a vet. He's gritty. He's trying to, as the vice president, he's basically doing the American way. He's doing the American thing, which is basically we have an invasion and we want to eliminate it permanently. Oh, and the added mix is that the vice president in this show is very religious. But to hear, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe the pizzazz, the panache, I'm just going to say the skills of Kevin Conroy and forgive me if I'm going off on a side tangent here, guys, but I just have to say this. A lot of people said that, which was a game that I never played, nor do I want to, but Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. A lot of people said that that was Kevin Conroy's last role as Batman. And maybe they were right. But I'm going to say this, guys. While Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, in my opinion, didn't do right by Kevin Conroy's Batman, Devil May Cry sure as hell did. This was the vice president, and even though he was the vice president, this was Batman. An older Batman. And I loved it. Alright, enough about that. Let's get into it. To the main show, I mean. So, obviously, if you guys have played the games of Devil May Cry, you know who Dante is. He's a demon hunter, and he's part demon. He's half demon, okay? So think of Inuyasha just without the ears, okay? Dante loves pizza. He loves strawberry sundaes, and and basically he's the son of Sparda, who is a powerful demon in the demon realm. Oh, and he has a brother that everybody loves named Virgil. I don't understand why myself, but it's what it is. Okay. So, let's get into the nitty gritty. So, obviously, the main plot of this story is that everybody wants Dante. Okay? The demons want Dante. The government wants Dante. The government wants Dante basically so that they can use his amulet so that they can go into the Makai realm or hell, however you want to say it. Yes, they actually call hell in the show instead of it calling straight up hell or the demon realm. They basically just call it the Makai realm. Yeah. And it might be called that in the games. Again, I'm relying heavily on the Devil May Cry fans, so you guys tell me in the comments below. Anyway, so they want Dante's necklace. They want his pendant so that they can open a portal to the demon realm so that they can go and destroy the demons. Okay? The demons want Dante. They don't just want his necklace. They also want his blood. And they also want to use his blood in combined with Dante's amulet or his necklace, along with Virgil's necklace, along with Sparda's sword. This will open the realm to the demon world permanently and unite both realms and basically make it so that the demons can live amongst humans and basically devour humans. Okay? Now you might be asking yourself, well, why do they want to do this? Well, simple. Because one guy who's essentially in a rabbit mask, who basically turned himself into a demon in his own way, basically, I wouldn't say fell through a portal, but walked into a portal, walked into the demon world, was taken in by the Makaians, was treated nicely and everything. And now, because he sees the suffering that the Makaians are going under as a result of Dante's father, Sparda, rebelling against the actual Demon King and closing the portal to the demon world and the human world forever and putting a barrier between them, basically the Makaians or the demons are suffering. They have bad air to breathe. Many of their children don't survive at infancy, and it's very tough. So this guy who walks through this kid, basically, who walks through the demon portal, he basically sees all this going on. He makes a friend. He's he sees it all. And his goal is he wants to try to help the Micaians live, to breathe, to survive. And so he's dressed up as like the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland because one of his favorite books was Alice in Wonderland. So, yeah, try figuring that one out, yeah? Okay. So anyway, back to that. So he creates this device to locate all the portals and then open them, but not only open them, but keep them stabilized, right? Okay, you following me so far? So that's his goal. Now, obviously, if we switch back to the human world, Dante is being Dante. Like I said, he loves pizza. He loves strawberry sundaes. He loves taking jobs and stuff like that. Okay. And ultimately, he comes across Lady, who is a part of the government's forces of demon hunters. And, basically they're trying to question him, see what he knows, which it's Dante. He doesn't know anything. And this is where I'm going to ask a question to you guys. Okay? Amongst the other questions that I've asked. In the games, in the first game, whichever game you guys have played in Devil May Cry, when does Dante realize that he's a demon, or a half demon, or the son of Sparta? However you want to say it. When does he figure it out? Does he figure it out in the first game? Does he figure it out in the fourth game? Where does he figure that? Maybe even the third game. Where does he figure that where does he find out that he's a half demon? And the reason why I ask this question is because for most of the show, until he activates his devil trigger, he doesn't believe he's a demon. He does not believe that he's a half demon. He just thinks he's extraordinary, that he's got like superpowers like a superhero. So, I want to know from the Devil May Cry community, when does Dante really find out that he's the son of Sparta? That he's a half demon, right? That's what I want to know. Anyway, back to the story. So, Lady spends a lot of time trying to capture him, and she does, only to realize that, like, the rabbit is going to open a portal to the demon world, so she tries to stop him. Anyway, yada yada yada. What matters is that they succeed. And the demons at first, they do actually open the realm to the demon portal, but thanks to Dante and Lady, they're able to close it. And we are left with a cliffhanger, and we might get a second season, because at the end of the first season, we see that Virgil actually comes through the portal. Virgil actually comes through, and he's freeing a whole bunch of demons that were incarcerated. And he's like, you better swear allegiance to the Demon King, because it's he that's like releasing you and everything like that, and you need to serve him. So, which leads me to believe that we're going to go on a journey. Oh, yeah, we are going to go on a journey. We are going to get a cliffhanger, and Dante and Lady are going to go on a journey, because Dante basically says, hey, I'm going to go find, essentially, my brother. I'm going to go find him, and I'm going to go, whatever, and you're more or less welcome to come. And at the end of the episode, like, they basically imprison Dante, because basically Lady uses a knockout drug on Dante, and yeah, and the American government just basically takes custody of him. They separate his amulet, and they separate his sword.
Photo time 1:26 p.m. Liftable subject available. Adult.
Excuse me. So now I got to get into my gripes. Guys. Whew. I want to say, first of all, that I've got nothing against the voice actor, but I have a preference. And I'm going off of the basis that I didn't play the games, but I did play the or no, I did not play the games, but I did watch the old Devil May Cry anime, which came out in the early 2000s. Do not ask me when. I'm going to say either 2008, maybe 2011. I don't know. Maybe 2000. Either way, I watched that anime, and I'm going to make comparisons, okay? So, I've got nothing against Johnny Young Bosch. In fact, I've got nothing against any of the actors. All of the voice actors were amazing and great in this. I love them, okay? I've got nothing against the characters, okay? I do think I have something against the writing of this, okay? Overall, I did love the story, and I love the anime, like I said. But here's the thing. So, the older Devil May Cry anime that I watched, which I think is my favorite, I don't know if it's better than this one. Because I'll say this, right? I think the games have aged more than the anime, which means that probably if I were to say, hey, there was, in the early 2000s, there was a Devil May Cry anime, you're probably going to be looking at me like, there was? Yeah. But I think I liked that Dante probably more than this one. In fact, I will go out on a limb and say that I liked the old lady more than I liked this new one. And I have reasons. When I think of the dynamic between Lady and Dante, Lady is supposed to be kind of like Dante's antagonist, okay? Lady is supposed to be like, well, I'm just going to say it. Like, the old Devil May Cry anime that I used to watch, in my opinion, was like punk rock, okay? It was legit punk rock, okay? It was attitude. It was Dante had a problem with authority, okay? Dante took jobs that he was interested in, and he, basically, if it didn't interest him or if it wasn't exciting, he wasn't going to do it. Right? It just wasn't. And of course the old Dante, and of course the Dante was in debt. A hefty debt, right? And he, would take jobs to try to pay off his debt, and it didn't, sometimes it didn't always work out so well, right? But there was more of an interesting touch to him. There was more of a quote-unquote badass touch. Now, I like this Dante. I think Johnny Young Bosch's Dante was awesome. I think Johnny Young Bosch is a wonderful voice actor. I have nothing but good things to say about him. I think what did him in on this one was just the writing. In fact, in episode 1, there was a specific part where Dante shoots a demon and he rescues a lady, but he couldn't come up with a one-liner. And so he tells the young lady, he's like, okay, let's do this again. Pretend I just shot him. And it's like, in my opinion, Dante wouldn't have to think about coming up with a one-liner. He just did it. It was just like, bang, jackpot, done. Like, he never has to think about it. And in the old Devil May Cry, and even in the games, you'll notice, like, Dante does not think about one-liners. He just comes up with them. He just does it on the fly, All right. Then there's Lady, and I liked her backstory. I really did. Of her father was so invested with demon blood and demon and the whole demon realm and everything like that, and demon physiology and the whole 9 yards, that he actually turned himself into a demon and basically killed his wife and destroyed their home. And Mary, or Lady, because her real name is Mary in this anime. Again, you Devil May Cry people, you tell me if her real name's Mary or if it's just Lady. But I like this because now she has a legitimate hatred for demons, and she wants to see them all destroyed because of her dad, of her father. So she becomes a demon hunter because her dad basically turned himself into a demon. So I like that story. I did like that. I will say I did like that. I just I think it was just the personality of the character, because when you think of Lady, she's sassy, she's antagonistic. Yes, she curses. Yes, she's a demon hunter. Yes, she freaking fires all manners of guns to win, right? And for me, there was just no sass. There was just no sass in this. There was no, for example, there was no like, whatever, Dante, like, you crazy, pardon my French, motherfucker. There was a lot of cursing from her. There was a little bit of sass in some of the episodes, which felt like true Lady. And I mean that, like, felt like true Lady. But for the most part, it just, Lady didn't hit for me. And so I categorize it like this, guys, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling. I don't really have all my thoughts together for this, but the first half of the show was okay for me, but the back half of the series was where it started to pick up for me a little bit more. That's where it started to pick up for me, was the back half of the show. Dante felt more like Dante. Lady felt more like Lady. We didn't get to see Trish, so we might see her in season 2. We only saw one shot of Virgil, and actually 2 shots of Virgil, because we saw him in one episode, and then we saw him at the end. So that's going to be cool to see him in season 2. If we get a season 2, I don't know. Hopefully we do. But all in all, that's Devil May Cry, the anime on Netflix. I know a lot of people were complaining about the animation style. I thought the animation was okay. I'm not really a critic of the animation, just because I don't notice all the little details and minute things. But I'd say the animation was okay. It was fine. The fight scenes were okay. Yeah. I mean, there's not much to it than that. Just a lot of blood, gore, violence, bullets, cursing, and a whole lot of, pardon my French again, a whole lot of fucking good action. That's Devil May Cry. Anyway, here's my rating, guys. I give it a solid 8. The acting was good. The voice actors were good. The action scenes were okay. The story was alright, but the writing is where it hit me. I just wish maybe a little bit more in the writing department, or at least in the personalities of the characters. Something like that. I don't know. You figure it out. Anyway, guys, that's enough out of me. I've ranted long enough. You guys have heard me rant on long enough, haven't you? So, with that being said, once again, I please request that you please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I make another video. Devil May Cry fans, where are you at? Let me know where you're at in the comments below. Have you seen Devil May Cry on Netflix? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Do you want more of it? And most importantly, does it live up to the expectations of the games? Have you played the games? Let me know. I want to hear from you. A couple of announcements here before I get out of here. I know I said you've heard me rant long enough, but I got a Daredevil review, Daredevil Born Again review coming up. I can't decide if I want to just do it tomorrow or if I want to do it after next week, because next week is the last episode. So I'll let you know. Other than that, just I've been doing this for 2 years so far. This is my second year and I'm having fun. So that's all you go from there. Maybe I'll talk about a special video or do something special for you guys. I don't know. But either way, thank you guys for checking out this video, and I will see you in the next one. Remember, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go make it an anime day, and I will see you soon.
Control center.
Bye.
Airplane selected. Screen.